Bienvenidas to Latina Literati. So if you like people, places, interesting books, wonderful ideas, then this is the channel for you. Here we are again, a new year. So excited to bring you new content. You know, there are some weekends that you spend with really good friends. You have your siblings, you have your family, but then you have what I call hermanas de la vida. These are sisters that life has given you. You've been blessed with amigas chidas, really good friends that you know you could call them at any time and they would see how they could help you. So I am blessed with a couple of these, and we met up in Los Angeles, had a fabulous weekend, and enjoyed each other's company. And so it is to them, gracias, for organizing the weekend, and it is to them that I dedicate this video. Thank you for a great weekend in Los Angeles. So we're in Los Angeles, and we are going to talk about some of my favorite places to visit in Los Angeles when you're there. So there is a place called Eataly, and you think, Eataly? Why Eataly? LA has some fabulous restaurants, as you know, but Eataly is special. The first one is established in Turin in 2007. The first Eataly that I visited was in Milan, and then they opened in New York, and they opened in Las Vegas and in Los Angeles, and I even recently heard they've now opened in San Jose. So there you have it. Eataly is everywhere. And so their motto in Italian is alti cibi, which means high level food, really good food. But their motto in English is eat, shop, learn. And that's what you do at Eataly. Everything is brought in from Italy. So if you want the real Neapolitano pizza that is perfectly in 2 minutes in that perfect round oven, all the pastas are made right there with heirloom grains from Campania outside of Naples, which is considered a place of denominación de origen, that it's a place of such quality as something that you can put on a label, basically, like champagne from France or something. So Eataly is a great place, and I'm sharing with you here just some of the wonderful things you'll see. Huge array of cheeses from Italy. The mozzarella is handmade every day, cured meats, lots of everything. It's like a major supermarket, again, alti cibi. It's very high quality, and it's like these little markets that are meant to represent the markets that you could go to in Italy, where you eat and you can take home. They have lots of cooking classes if that's something that's of interest to you, but I go there for the heirloom pastas. I get different varieties to try different times because my family loves pasta, so I recommend that. And of course, if you enjoy the olive oils and the balsamic vinegars and things, you can pick up spices and the traditional candies and things. So Eataly is a place that I like to go and just see what's up, what's new, and pick up some things when I'm in Los Angeles. But really, the event of the weekend was, after years of not being able to visit, one of the friends who came in from out of town made reservations at the Getty Villa. The Getty Villa, you can't really speak about the villa without speaking about the Getty family, obviously. And so the original Getty, John Paul, was a man that has been judged by history quite harshly. And so I'll actually get into that in the book reviews. But he starts collecting very young. I want to say it's like 1917. And he's touring the Mediterranean, and he is at the different ruins in Italy and in Greece, Jordan, North Africa, because there are a lot of Roman ruins in North Africa. Many people don't know that. Carthage. So he is there and he starts collecting. So we're talking about, 1917, and the museum opens, I want to say like in the 70s, 80s. So, it's almost 80 years of collecting that he has done, mostly, I should say just Mediterranean, but mostly Greek and Roman items. And it's quite interesting because his first museum, what he said was that he wanted to pass on antiquity and have people share. But in his mind, antiquity was Greek and Roman, and maybe some Etruscan. It's really interesting that we're actually there to see a Nubian jewelry collection. Fabulous, fabulous. And I will include the Getty app images in the description box so that you can see the collection yourself. So John Paul Getty says, I'm going to give my collection to this museum in my honor and set up a trust to oversee the museum. And it's thousands of amazing Greek and Roman artifacts. But I want my museum to promote this antiquities. So in his mind, antiquities was that part of the Mediterranean. So we're there to see the Nubian jewelry collection. And you say, well, what does Nubia have to do with it? Well, that's very interesting because Nubia actually ruled Egypt. And Egypt, of course, is an integral part of the Mediterranean. It was the breadbasket for Rome. So you can't speak of one part of the Mediterranean without understanding that it was completely seen as one world. That was really considered the known world at that time. And so Africa is an integral part of that world. In fact, a Phoenician princess by the name of Alisa crosses the Mediterranean and establishes what will be Carthage, the most important rival to Rome at its peak. So in any case, I digress as usual. The villa itself is a replica of a Roman villa in Herculaneum outside of Naples, but not just any villa. This villa belonged to Caesar's father-in-law. Do you remember Calpurnia, the Roman wife that he spurns to stay in Egypt with Cleopatra? Well, her father is the one that owned this villa. And it's a fabulous villa with beautiful frescoes, inlaid work, and colonnades and typical Roman gardens with herbs and beautiful reflective pool with statues. And so it's really worthwhile. It's quite beautiful. And it's also of interest because if you're not going to Herculaneum, this is as close as you can get in Southern California. You have to make reservations ahead of time, and there is no fee to get into the museum, and I think parking is $20. You can pre-order lunch, have lunch, and spend the afternoon there, and an afternoon there is plenty. But the Nubian jewelry exhibit is fabulous. It's a beautiful, beautiful exhibit, and it talks about the different kingdoms in Nubia and the role of women, which of course is of interest. There were several women that ruled Nubia, and it was quite prosperous during the time of the women's rule. And so the pieces are very, very beautiful. One of the pieces that was not in the special exhibit was in the general exhibit is this griffin from what was then called Hesperia. Some say that that word comes from being hidden because it was the most farthest reach of the Mediterranean world. Hesperia is the origin of the word España. And España was very rich in copper and tin. And so this is a griffin that is made in Spain thousands of years ago, which I thought was quite interesting. So anyway, it's a great visit, great place to visit. Wanted to share this with you. And now on to my favorite. So the two books on the Getty family, Growing Up Getty and The House of Getty, are both worth reading. One is a bit easier read than the other. I would say that the Growing Up Getty is much more favorable to the Getty family. The House of Getty gets into maybe a bit more of the antiquities and the process of setting up the museum. So both worthwhile if that's something that is of interest to you. And since it's in Malibu, in Pacific Palisades, I said, well, it's always good to take a look at something that might have to do with Malibu. And so Malibu Rising, New York best-selling book 2 years ago. You may have seen it. It's a book about a weekend party which changes everyone's lives. So if that's something that's of interest to you, then I'd recommend that as well. So please let us know. What do you want us to talk about? If there's specific things you'd like to hear about, we'd love to share them with you because this is a journey for all of us together. So as always, we wish you mucho cariño, mucho amor, mucho salud. Gracias.